All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started here with our video on cell regulation. I wanted to take some time tonight. There's been a couple of students who have had some questions regarding the project, so I wanted to make some clarifications, and I also wanted to just give you a little bit of information on homeostasis and homeostatic mechanisms as they relate to kind of helping you think a little bit more about the project. So, um, when you look at your lesson, um, the objectives really are three main things: identifying the mechanisms for maintaining homeostasis at the cellular and the system level. So, all the way down to the cell level, and all the way when we're talking about organs and organ systems. Um, Identifying those mechanisms that exist for those systems to maintain homeostasis or balance, and then obviously being able to distinguish between positive and negative feedback loops, which is a focus of the lesson, not necessarily so much of a focus of the project, but then of course being able finally to define, put into your own words, a definition to homeostasis. So really, the first and the second, or and the third, are the two main objectives of this project. So um, let's take a few minutes first and talk about what is homeostasis. Okay, so for those of you going through the lesson, um, it talks about how cells are capable of regulating what they need and what they don't need in order to maintain balance or to maintain an overall health of the organism. And we call that stasis, or when we're talking about it at the cellular level in organism, we call that homeostasis. Okay. Last week we talked about the cell membrane, or your lesson calls it the plasma membrane, and its functions. And the job of the cell membrane really is to be the guardian to let certain substances into cells and let certain substances leave cells. Okay. And the reason that this is done is because the cell membrane and the regulation that occurs with the cell membrane is done in order to keep the environment inside of the cell as well as on the outside around the cell, okay, healthy and sustainable. Okay, so the goal of the lesson was really to get you to think about homeostasis and how organisms maintain it and what it is. So in the lesson, you there were some short videos, and when you talk about cell regulation, everything that a cell does to maintain internal balance involves something in terms of life processes. So, balancing energy, balancing nutrients, maintaining a constant internal temperature, blood pressure, um, concentration, and pH. Okay, and all of the mechanisms that help an organism maintain homeostasis are all centered around this state. Okay. Um, so when you think of homeostasis, you have to really think of it as a constant state of flux in organisms. It's not a static condition that exists. Okay, our bodies are constantly going through things, and we need to make sure that in order to maintain that balance, that we have mechanisms in place that can deal with these up and down roller coaster events that occur um, with our bodies. Okay, so um, think about that when you're thinking about the process of maintaining internal balance at the cellular level. So let's go on here and take a minute and talk about the project. Okay. So, what is the project asking you to do? It states here that all living organisms, including yourself, must maintain that steady state, that homeostasis. Okay. If homeostasis isn't maintained, you get these negative symptoms that can occur, and that ultimately, in some organisms and in some cases, can lead to death. Okay. And that's obviously a not favorable condition that any organism wants. Okay. So, the project's focus was to see how your body adjusts to maintaining a steady state when you exercise. Now, a couple of things. Here are the materials you need. It says a thermometer, it says a mirror, it says a clock or a stopwatch, and a paper and pen. And the two big things that most people are coming to problems with are the thermometer and the clock or the stopwatch. Let's first address the thermometer issue. If you cannot get a thermometer, okay, and you can if you do get them, there you can get them for like 99 cents um, at at certain drugstores or dollar stores, but if you can't get them, that's okay. Send me an email and we'll talk about how you can alter this project without that, and I'll even make mention of it in here. The other thing you can do, clocks and stopwatches. I know many of you have cell phones. You can use your cell phone, and you can even use the timer here on your computers that you're given through BVA as a stopwatch. Okay. So what it wants you to do is to construct a table similar to this. Okay. What you can do is you can cut this out, copy and paste it, or you can create one in Word. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay. What you're then going to do is you're going to fill out this table. Okay. Um, Describing your body at a resting state. So before you start anything in this little project, in this mini lab, you want to make sure that you're at a resting calm state. Okay. Check your skin color, check your level of perspiration. Okay, if you're calm and you're not doing anything, you shouldn't have any sweat. All right. Your exterior temperature. Okay, and here's where, if you don't have a thermometer, um, you can you can improvise this project. Okay, most of us at normal body temperature is somewhere around 98.6, give or take a degree one way or another. Okay. So if for this project at resting, if you don't have a thermometer, you can use just normal body temperature to start. Okay. So you can say, 98.6. All right. Um, Heart and breathing rates, you can certainly check those on your own. You don't need anything for that. Then what you're going to do is, after recording all of this information while resting, you're going to actually then do some exercise. And you're going to do exercise in intervals of 2 minutes. Okay? Now, I want to make a disclaimer here. If you are not capable of exercising, you have an injury, you have a certain health condition, please do not do this. If someone else is willing to do this in your place, you are certainly welcome to ask them to do it in your place and record your observations based on them. Okay? It talks about jogging in place, skipping rope, or any other type of cardiovascular exercise. If you do it at a gym, you can do it at a gym. If you want to do push-ups, you can do push-ups. Really, the goal of the exercise is just to increase your heart rate, increase your breathing rate, and all of the other homeostatic mechanisms in your body. So the exercise or the type of exercise isn't necessarily as important as the result that we want to get. Okay. Um, it says, after you've completed the exercise, rest for a minute and then describe your body and fill out the table once more. So you're literally going to do an exercise. You're going to get your data at resting. Then you're going to exercise for 2 minutes and you're going to get your data. Okay. And then you're going to exercise again for another 2 minutes. So after 4 minutes, you're going to get data. And then after 6 minutes, you're going to get data. And after 8 minutes, you're going to get data. And then after your 8 minutes of exercise, you're going to rest for 1 minute after that. And then you're going to record your observations immediately afterwards. So you're not exercising for 2 minutes and then 4 minutes and then 6 minutes and then 8 minutes. You're exercising for 2 minute intervals for a total of 8 minutes. Okay. And then after you've done all that and after you've gotten your results, then you're going to respond to the questions. Okay. And I'm not so much worried about the word count. Okay. But I'm worried about how well you can describe what I'm looking for. Okay. Specifically here, in question 6B and 6C. Okay. Your descriptions will be easily read in your table, but what I'm really going to be looking for is, can you explain why your body made the changes it did? Like if you started sweating, if you noticed your temperature changed, if your cheeks got flushed, if you felt your heart beating faster, if you started noticing that your breathing rate went up. Explain why your body made those changes. Okay. Think about it in terms of oxygen deficits. Think about it in terms of ATP deficits. Okay. And then finally, what can you conclude about your body's ability to maintain homeostasis? And really, this question is based on your exercise. Can you conclude, based on your levels of sweating, your levels of breathing, the color of your skin and your perspiration and so on, can you conclude that your body was able to maintain homeostasis? And then think about it as if after the exercise was done and after you're coming down from the exercise, that minute after, was your body able to, in that minute time, successfully stabilize itself and bring itself back to a state that's close to where you were when you were resting? Okay, so that's what I'm looking for in B and C. All right, and you can put that in a Word document, or you can put that all in here, right in the question bank. Okay, so that's really the project on homeostasis. If you have any other questions, certainly seek out, reach me via email, via phone, or in the virtual office. And next week, we're going to talk about another project that's coming up with respiration and muscles. Have a great week, everyone, and we will see you next week.